Bhaktisiddhanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashati Deshatarini. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girimit Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dintarinam. Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Guruve Gaur Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye. Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya. Namo Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya Evacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Krishna Krishna Mahavira He Rama Moga Vikrama Davagni Dahyamanan Prapannastvam Tratum Arhataha. So, my dear friends, Vaishnavas, respected devotees, thank you again for joining. We are reading this wonderful chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 19, entitled The Swallowing of the Forest Fire, Swallowing the Forest Fire. And today I found a very, very beautiful picture which explains or which gives a very visual understanding, or how Krishna swallowed the forest fire. We already read till that section, and I'm just going to share this picture with all of you so we all can see that also, and visualize these leelas. So we read yesterday that the friends were asking, help us, help us. Then Krishna came and asked, hey, close your eyes. They all did. Yes, immediately they closed their eyes and Krishna swallowed the forest fire. Wow, that is amazing. And this beautiful picture shows us that. I hope you like this picture. Now the question may come, I was reading an article and I found this very insightful reasons why Krishna asked his friends to close their eyes. So the acharyas give multiple reasons, but two I read. Because you remember in the Mridabhakshan Leela, when Krishna ate dirt, at that time their eyes were open. At that time their eyes were open and they saw, oh, Krishna, you ate dirt. And then we read this beautiful verse in the 8th chapter. Ekada kridamanaste ramadya gopadaraka Krishno mridam bhakshitvan iti matre nevedayan. Once upon a time, when they were doing krida, again, the word krida comes in this chapter also. When they were all playing, Rama, Balram and other Gopa, they came to the mother and did this Naivedya. What did they say? Krishna mridam bhakshitvan. Krishna has eaten dirt. Now, eating dirt is nowhere compared to eating fire. Like, consider your child, your 2-year-old or 5-year-old or whatever. Like, imagine you have a child who is about 5-year-old or 4-year-old. That age, they do not know much about dirt and fire, but they eat dirt. It's not that big of a worry. It's worrisome, but not that big of a worry. Then they start to put fire in their mouth, play with the lighter, and then they try to eat that. Oh my God, that's a lot more worrisome. And therefore, Krishna is thinking, oh my God, I ate fire, and then they made a big issue out of that. Sorry, I ate dirt, and they start to go and complain to Yashoda, oh, Krishna is eating dirt, Krishna madamridam bhakshitvan. If they see me eating fire, oh, what will happen? What will happen? I do not want to deal with any more complaints. Last time, there was a huge conversation with Mother Yashoda. There's a huge conversation, as we know. Then Mother Yashoda asks, hey, did you eat dirt? Krishna says, no, I didn't eat dirt. And to further, do you think your son, your blood will eat dirt? No. How can that be possible? I'm your son, mother. They are just friends. They don't know. They are trying to, take revenge. They are envious of me. All this is fun. This is the sweetness of the pastime. They do not, want me to get married. Therefore, they keep complaining about me. And if you really, really think I have eaten dirt, why don't you check my mouth? And then he thought their mother will say, no. If someone says, hey, did you, let's say, if my wife says to me, for example, hey, did you took care of the garbage bag, right? Did you throw the garbage? I say, yes. Then I say, oh, are you sure? Yes. Are you really sure? If I'm asking 10 times, why don't you, if you don't trust me, why don't you go and check for yourself? Then in most situations, they say, no. Okay, now I trust you. That if you're like so sure you're asking me to check, that means you really did it. Or so in this case, Krishna asks, hey, why don't you check for yourself? And by the time the dirt was in his mouth, actually. And then mother said, okay, I'm going to check. And then she asked Krishna to open the mouth, and then she saw the whole universe. That's again a beautiful pastime, which we have already read. But long story short, the reason was he didn't want any more complaints. That was one reason. Beautiful reason, isn't it? Then he was also thinking, reason number 2, the boys, if they see swallowing fire, Krishna swallowing fire, they may just give up their lives. So much love they have for Krishna. Like, as I said, eating dirt is a very minuscule thing in front of eating fire. So I really like these 2 reasons why Krishna asked the Gopa friends, please close your eyes while he takes care of the fire. And he did. We read in the last verse, which was text number 13. He opened his mouth, by his mystic power swallowed the terrible fire, saving his friends from danger. So that is covered till text 12. We're going to read from text 13. Tataschate akshini unmilya punarbhandiram apitaha nishamya vishmita san atmanam gas Chamochitaha. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Abhicharanaravind, Bhaktikanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada, disciples ki Jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. The cowherd boys opened their eyes and were amazed to find not only that they and the cows had been saved from the terrible fire, but that they had all been brought back to the Bhandira tree or Bhandira forest. Hare Krishna. Amongst the 12 forests of Vrindavan or Vraja, 12 primary forests, let's say, Bhandir one is one of them. Here Krishna did Bhandara. That's where the name Bhandir comes. Bhandara. That's where the word Bhandir one comes. Krishna did a Bhandara. Bhandara means like a open lunch. Whoever comes, come and take. So two things here. When the boys opened their eyes, there was as if there was fire, or there was nothing like fire before. As if nothing happened, right? They were back to the safe place. Not only them, the cows and everything. So Krishna does that in multiple places. Can anyone further tell? Something happened, but the boys felt as if nothing happened. One thing which is anyone has thinking, is anything ringing in your mind?
Rose didn't get it. What is that question?
Some pastime happened. The boys didn't even feel that this whole thing happened. When the fire happened, they were back to the safe place. When they opened their eyes, they had no clue of what had happened in the last, whatever time had passed.
That the snake pastime, the
snake pastime. Kalia.
The Agasura, there's a big snake. They went inside the snake.
Yeah, they went inside the big snake and then they were, Krishna had to intervene. Very nice example. They remembered that they went inside the snake, but when they were unconscious and how they retained back to consciousness, they had no idea. Even in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, correct? Brahma Vimohan Leela, 1 year, they were sleeping in the Brahma's like transcendental sleep, and Brahma had taken them, but no one had any clue what had happened. When they came back to their home, they didn't say, "Oh, we were at Brahma's place." They didn't, but not as if nothing happened. So this is the mystic potency. Krishna is the all, powerful. He's the yogis of all the yogi. He's the yogi of all the yogis. He's the supreme. He can do anything. So basically, they were all back to the safe place. They were been saved from the fire. And it reminds us also of a lesson that right now we are suffering. Right now, we are suffering in this material world. And then if we take to the process of the holy name, chanting, Bhagavatam, reading, good association, and have faith, that means have faith, do not worry. It means we discussed that's the meaning of closing the eyes. That doesn't mean we drive with closed eyes. That's not. That means we have faith that Krishna will protect us. Krishna is going to be there for us. Krishna's words are not going to be in vain. Devotional service is not going to go in vain. This is all the faith. Then we will also be one day mystically transported to a very safe place back home, back to Godhead. We will also, by the wonderful arrangement of the Lord and his great devotees, we will also be saved from the terrible fire and then brought back home, back to Godhead. So very nice lesson. Let's read. Any thoughts before we move to the next one? Yes, Baldev Prabhu, you want to read?
Prabhuji, Hare devotees, Dhamma Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada, text 14. Krishna sho jogo viram tat jogo maya nu bhavitam prabhagner atmana ke sheman vikshayote manire amaram. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada, and his disciples Ki Jai. Translation: when the cowherd boys saw that they had been saved from the forest fire by the Lord's mystic power, which is manifested by his internal potency, they began to think that Krishna must be a demigod. Purport: the cowherd boys of Vrindavan simply loved Krishna as their only friend, an exclusive object of devotion. To increase their ecstasy, Krishna displays to them his mystic potency and saved them from a terrible forest fire. The cowherd boys could never give up their ecstatic, loving friendship with Krishna. Therefore, rather than considering Krishna to be God, after they saw his excellent power, they thought that perhaps he was a demigod. But since Lord Krishna was their beloved friend, they were on the same level with him, and thus they thought that they too must be demigods. In this way, Krishna's cowherd friends became overwhelmed with ecstasy. Very nice translation purport. So, in these pastimes, we see the cowherd boys simply in the Shakho Rash, the friendship interrelationship. So, though time and again, every time they're saved, they're seeing the Krishna's mighty power, but still they cannot take more than that. Krishna is their friend and at least maybe a demigod, that power. So, and Krishna also loves that type of relationship with his intimate devotees. So, to stay at the same level or lower level, that makes Krishna's make it please also a lot. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for this beautiful verse. The friends there, Sakhya Rasa is so deep that they are thinking, oh, like how did this? There was a fire and their eyes were closed. Suddenly, in few moments, fire gone. Wow, he must be a big demigod. But we and him are same, so we must be also demigod. That's their mood, right? We two play together. We two, like, let's think about if two people work in the same company, or they'll think, oh, we go to the same places, we wear the same kind of clothes, we are always like together. And if he's demigod, then we're also demigods. And that's the rasa which Krishna likes. Beautiful verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 4, text number 25. Sakha Shuddha Sakhya Kore Skande Arohan, Tumi Kono Baralok, Tumi Amisam. My friends climb on my shoulders in pure friendship, saying, what kind of big man are you? You and I are equal. Isn't that beautiful? Sakha, the friends of Krishna, Shuddha Sakhya, pure friendship. Kore, Kandhik, Kandha is shoulder, Kandhe Arohan. They mount, they climb on his shoulder. Hanumanji won't climb on Ram's shoulder. Sugriva won't climb on Ram's shoulder. Lakshmiji won't climb on Ram's shoulder or Vishnu's shoulder, right? It's a different rasa. Tumi kona bada log? You think you're a big person? Hey, you and I are equal. That's what is mentioned in this verse also. That the friends are thinking, oh, we are on the same level. Thus, they thought that we two also must be demigods, right? Because if Krishna is demigod, he displayed something, how he saved from, this was not just a tiny fire. It was like strong winds, and the weather was really hard. They were like, the fire was propagating in every direction. The fire was devouring. Davagni Dahayamanan. We read it was devouring forest fire. It was very huge. But this is the love of the friends of Krishna. They never think he is Bhagavan. They never think they think we are equals. That Krishna likes that. And if you go further, it mentioned that Krishna likes this kind of relationship much more. Taking these pure devotees with me, I shall descend in sport various wonderful ways, even unknown even in Vaikuntha. Yeah, Vaikuntha doesn't have all these leelas. So basically, these are some of the reasons of this chapter is entitled Why Lord Chaitanya Appeared. But very, very beautiful. Okay. Next verse, anyone wants to read? Text 15. Or any thoughts before this? We'll try to complete this chapter. Yeah. Yes, Mati, please.
Kam sannivatya sayan he sahramo janardana venu virayana goshtamagad gopera bhishtutaha. Should I read the translation too?
Yes, sorry, I moved it a little prior to you finished. Sorry about that.
No. I can't see the translation still.
Did you read the last line? Sorry.
Oh, I did. I didn't. I can read it again. So
Okay,
I was
yes.
reading the Hindi, the Sanskrit one.
Okay, please.
Gah sannivatya sayan he sahramo janardana Verun Virayana Goshtamagad Gopairabhishtutah. So I'm not sure what exactly to say here. I think you say the translation by the
Disciples of
disciples,
Srila
right?
Prabhupada.
Translations by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Disciples of Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It was now late in the afternoon, and Lord Krishna, accompanied by Balarama, turned the cows back toward home. Playing his flute in a special way, Krishna returned to the cowherd village in the company of his cowherd friends, who chanted his glories. Back to you, Prabhuji.
Krishna, thank you. Very nice verse. So late in the afternoon means time to come back home, kind of evening, maybe around 4 or 5 p.m. That's the time they would generally come back, accompanied by Balram and the cows back toward home. So very beautiful. And Krishna is playing his flute. So whenever they would come back, Krishna would be playing his flute, because that's what he likes. That's what gives and gives everyone joy, because it's like their phone call, like, oh, I'm on my way, about to reach. So the Vrajvasis would hear the transcendental flute from a very long distance. And Krishna is covered. Our life is coming back to Raja. Our life is coming. So this is the in the prayers of Ritrasur, which we were reading 2 weeks back, the devotee, awaits Krishna's mercy. A few examples were given, like a young bird who had just taken birth is waiting eagerly for the mother to come, right? Because they cannot fly on their own. They're waiting for the mother to feed them. Another example was given that a wife who has been away from husband for a long time, a chaste wife, eagerly waits for the husband to come back, to return back. Let's say the husband may be in military and they have gone due to some reason, to fight the battle. And the wife is eagerly waiting when my husband will be back. So like that, the devotees eagerly wait for Krishna's mercy. Eagerly they're waiting, when will my life, because Krishna is the Pranath. So Krishna would play his flute. And in the flute, basically, all the cows would hear their names: Dhavali, Tungi, Shamali, Kalindi, and they will all assemble and they'll go back to Raja. And when the gopis would see Yashoda, other gopis, the mothers, they would immediately be so eager to take their children back in the lap. And this was the moment they would wait for. This would appear to be like they would eagerly wait. The separation from Krishna was too much, so they would wait for the union. And they would always be thinking of Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. Whenever they are cleaning their home and they are milking the cows, they are putting their bed or making some preparations, Govinda, Damodara, Madhaveti. And sometimes, in that absorption, they would forget things. Example, they will put, let's say, kajal on one eye and forget on the other eye. Like, imagine, like, how much love. The calves would stop drinking mother's milk because of absorption of Krishna. That's because Raja or Vrindavan means complete attachment to Krishna. So now the chapter is coming to a sweet ending here. There's one more verse, but long story short, playing his flute. Now they can hear his flute. Why they could not hear his flute? Why they could not hear the call earlier? We discussed that. Why? Rin lobhena, because of greed, because of desire to be independent. They could not hear. But now they realized, oh, Krishna is a real friend, real master, real everything. Now they are happy in the company of Krishna and Balram and the cowherd friends. Everyone is happy. Returned to the cowherd village in the company of friends and chanted his glories. It's basically like a joyful festival. They're having like a kirtan party, right? Cows are there, flute is going on, they're dancing and chanting and joyfully coming back. There is a wonderful picture also I'll show. Krishna and Balaram.
So probably why the word used special way, playing his flute in a special way?
Special way. Let's see. In his particular space. Viranyan. Viranyan. Venum Viranyan. I'm not I don't know what the special meaning is, but what I read is basically they were calling. Like every, Krishna has different types of flutes also. It's not just, English has only one, flute. Venu, Murali, Vasuri, these are all different. The size is different, the holes are different. And there is also a meter or the tone, the melody is also different. So sometimes he is playing to call the gopis, sometimes he's playing to call the cows, sometimes he's playing to call the calves, sometimes, something. So, like even in the kirtan, there is slow kirtan, fast kirtan. In the slow also, there are like different types of kirtan melodies. So, that's my limited understanding that he was playing maybe a specific way, a specific raga, a specific melody, which was appropriate for that occasion, to call the calves in the evening time. Is that okay? What do you think?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot.
Hare Krishna. So just trying to find an appropriate picture. Let's see. I think this one is good. There are quite a few pictures in this. Govindadamo Paramamaveti Govind. You see here, this is a beautiful picture showing Krishna, Balram, the cows, Krishna playing the flute, the birds, the cattle, peacock. Look at that beautiful peacock. And the cows, they're all coming back from the forest of Raja back to their home. This is like the daily activity of Krishna. Every day they would go, they would pack, their mothers would pack their lunch. Some things would happen in the forest, killing of different demons, etc. But finally, at the end of the day, late afternoon, they'll come back, and everything is a festival. Everything is a festival in spiritual world. That's Vrindavan. So we are on to the last verse of this chapter. It's a small chapter with 16 verses. We'll read the last verse, text 16. Yes, Ritu Mata, do you want to try? Thank you for joining. Anyone? Okay. Gopinam Paramananda Asid Govinda Darshane Shanam Yogas Shatam Iva Yasam Yena Vina Bhavat Gopinam Paramananda Asida Govinda Darshane Shanam Yoga Shatam Iva Yasam Yena Vibhavata. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The young gopis took the greatest pleasure in seeing Govinda come home, since for them a moment without his association seemed like 100 ages. Purport: after saving the cowherd boys from the blazing forest fire, Krishna saved the cowherd girls from the blazing fire of separation from him. Wow, so poetic. He saved the cowherd girls from the blazing fire of separation. The gopis headed by Srimati Radharani have the greatest love for Krishna. Even a single moment's separation from him seems like millions of years to them. The gopis are the greatest devotees of God, and their specific pastimes with Krishna will be described later in this work. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the humble servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, of the 10th canto, 19th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Swallowing the Forest Fire. Om Tat Sat. Beautiful verse again. Again, we can try to remember it. Words are a little easier. Gopinam Param Ananda. Param Ananda means topmost happiness of the gopis was what? Asid Govinda Darshani. They were their greatest joy of life is Govinda Darshan. What is the greatest joy in their life? Govinda Darshan. So, what is our greatest joy in our life? We can reflect upon it. Probably for majority of the population, it's material accomplishments, right? Majority. But the pure devotees who are the topmost unalloyed devotees, the gopis, their topmost joy is not material accomplishment or material gains. Their topmost joy is Govinda Darshana. Govinda Darshana, the darshan of the lotus feet, the darshan of the Supreme Lord. Shanam Yuga Shatam Iva. Sharna means a moment, like the time it takes to blink the eye. Less than a second. It's like a microsecond. But that appears to be 100. Shata means 100, century, right? Shata. It appears hundreds of yugas, hundreds of years, 100 ages, yugas, right? Kali Yuga, Dwapar, etc. So it appears to be hundreds, a moment appears to be hundreds of ages. Yasam Yena Vina Bhavat. Vina. Vina means in his separation. Without Krishna's without Krishna's presence. That means in Krishna's absence, or Vina Bhavat means without his presence. When he is not with us, a moment appears like 100 ages. So, and Prabhupada disciples so beautifully mentioned, so Krishna in this chapter extinguished two blazing fires. One, the boys, they were captured by the fire, the heat, and the gopis, the cowherd girls, they were in the fire of separation. They were about to give up their lives because a moment is appearing like hundreds of ages. So this is this is the beauty of. Has anyone experienced that? Even in some common parlance, similar experiences. It may not be about Krishna. It could be about our son or daughter or friend or something. I think I shared this one time, one experience. Actually, it was at Yatra. I'll quote Padma Sakhi Mataji because, the mother's love is kind of little close to, not little close, is a, let's say, out of all the so-called love in this material world, the mother love is like kind of iota of Krishna's love towards his children. The mother really loves the child selflessly, expecting nothing. So one time we were in this yatra like 7,000-8,000 people, 10,000 people, and suddenly this little naughty guy, Dina Krishna, is missing in action. Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, such a big yatra. It was a holy dham, Vrindavan. We were in Vrindavan. But I mean, everyone is searching, everyone is concerned. But I can nowhere, say that others were, the level of concern of the mother was like million times more than anyone else. It is natural. For her, that separation was only less than 5 minutes. He was missing in action suddenly for, I would say, less than 5 minutes. But to her, it seemed like ages have passed, right? Because everyone was searching for 5-10 minutes. I don't know the exact time. But then suddenly one devotee, common devotee who knew, and then he brought him, and then he was back. And then it was like life has brought, life, she got a new life. That's what word. So, like the blazing fire of separation is extinguished when the beloved child was back. So here in the Chaitanya Shishtastakam also this verse come, the 8th verse. Yugaitam nimishena. What's that verse? Yuga. I'm forgetting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. Ashlishya padratam pinastu mam adarshanam marmahatam karotuva yatha tathava vidhatu lampatu mat prana nathastu saiva na paraha. That's the last verse, but the 7th verse fits more. Yugaitam nimishena chakshusha pravrashaitam shunyaitam jagat sarve govinda virahena me. This is a beautiful verse. Lord Chaitanya gave these 8 verses. So there's a 7th of the 8th verse. I'm focusing here. Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Yuga itam, the word yuga itam, nimishena. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all the weekends. Without your presence, Govind viraha. Viraha means absence. The same word was used here. Vina bhavat. That means without presence or without his presence. Yeah. So beautiful verse, kind of very similar to what we read here. This is the mood of the gopis. We can at least appreciate. In this day and age, if we are separate from our mobile phone, we'll feel, oh wow, separation. We cannot bear that separation, right? Think about that. Think about how much are we, let's say we are separated from our mobile phone for 3 days. That'll appear like 30 decades. Right? 3 days or sometimes even 3 hours may appear like that, right? Are we feeling that for Krishna? Are we feeling that when we don't see the devotees, when we don't get to read the Bhagavatam, when we don't get to have the Govinda Darshana? Are we really feeling that? Is a question to myself, is a question to ourselves. This is pure bhakti. For them, other separations do not matter. But if Krishna is not there, life is waste. This is the mood of the great devotees. Any thoughts, comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I learned in a class a couple of weeks ago, and in a prayer I pray sometimes that a forest fire is often compared to a worldly lust. And it's sort of nuanced and subtle, but sometimes I feel like I get caught up in or distracted by something material that sort of engages, I guess, my sort of karmic pattern or some scars of lusting for women, or anything material, or even love from like a woman or something like that. And I can, in my ignorance, I sort of confuse myself, and thankfully these days I don't act on those things, but I sort of have to endure them. And then when that's over, it almost feels like literally when I return, to chanting the mantra, it feels like Krishna swallows all that worldly lust for me. And that's why these days it's not even like I'm trying to chant the mantra. It's like I don't want the mantra to leave my mind or my heart ever. And so, yeah, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, this is the process, as we discussed, that challenges will come in everyone's life in different forms. For someone, one thing could be bothering. For someone, it could be the temptation to drugs. For someone, it could be temptation to eating certain foods they ate in the past. For someone, it could be opposite sex. For someone, it could be money. Different temptations will bother differently, some or the other. Because we are sadhakas, we are practicing devotees, we're not pure devotees. I'm talking about myself. But what is the success of a sadhaka? Desires we cannot control, thoughts we cannot control, at least. But if we, as you said, we endure and don't give into the negative, say no to the wrong and yes to the right, that's the success of a sadhaka. And with the more we say yes to the right and no to the wrong, our strength, our spiritual strength to say no to the wrong and yes to the right will further grow. And it's a cyclical effect. And it happens even in material life. Like let's say going to the gym, like you're going to the gym. Temptation is, oh, forget about it, right? Who cares? Ultimately, whatever has to happen will happen, right? Who cares? So the mind may say no. But when you say, no, it's good for me, I have to take care of my body and I have to do this. But when you do it, you feel happy that you were able to say no to the bad side of the mind. As well as Radhanath Maharaj says, as bad dog and good dog are in every one. The bad dog pulls us towards negative things. As I said, different examples: lust, anger, greed, envy, etc. The good dog tries to say, oh no, take good association, take Krishna Prasad, hear Bhagavatam. The more we feed into, the stronger that dog will get. And the easier it will get to, if we feed the good dog, the easier it will get to say no to the bad and yes to the right. And the more we feed the bad dog, a 10-minute Gita class will appear to be like ages, right? A 3-hour movie will appear like 3 minutes. Does it make sense? Like materialistic, who are purely into materialistic life, they will sit, watch, games, bad content on YouTube and stuff. They can spend hours, like days they can spend, right? It will fly like moments. Yogaitam nimishena. Right? What does it appear to them? Hours appear to be like seconds watching movies, right? As we discussed here. In this case, Shanam Yuga Shatam Iva. Shan appears like Yuga. A moment appears like ages in absence of Krishna. But to those who materialist, even a moment in the presence of Krishna appears like ages. Sometimes people come to the temple and they spend like so much time. You came in there in a hurry to go get back home. Like, one day you have come, relax, pray to Krishna, sit in front of temple, hear the holy name, talk to devotees. So much to do there. You've come all the way, spend some time, read Bhagavad Gita, don't hurry. This is the real stuff. So thank you. Does that help? I don't know how I got into one thought into the other. Any other thoughts, comments?
So, Prabhuji, not always the good or bad. Sometimes this 21st century colical getting, like probably you know that in the past doctors used to carry a pager to the calls when they are away from the hospital outside. Now we don't have any pager, only the cell phone. So each and everything comes in the cell phone. Since waking up in the morning, fasting, hold the phone. Like sometimes we drop the phone here, there, from the table to here, to here. Oh, where is my phone? Where is my phone? Keep rushing. Where is the phone? Because in the meantime, whether there's a patient from the workplace, patient is crashing. Like if you see like this guy crazy. But that is the life now. Then we forget Krishna. Definitely, I never have any intention to search for Krishna like this. But for the cell phone, the way I search, sometimes my family members get crazy on me. We don't find your phone. Why you have to look for your phone? Because can you call my phone? Where's my phone? Can you call my phone? So they're also being mad on me. But this is my job. This is the work, and when we do. And rather than thinking Krishna, have to think about the cell phone, where it is. So I don't know. Probably you got the things. So it puts us in so much trouble, hard time. Like my dream, when I leave my work and throw this cell phone from life, then I'll think that, okay, I'm born free. I think it's mostly all the critical care physicians happening in this life, not only me. Because my senior boss, who is in the middle of the 2 o'clock, you call for your problem, he'll answer. He's India, you call him, he'll answer. He went to the Europe, you call, he'll answer. So this is the situation.
Yeah, I know it's tough, especially with your work. So I can't say much because I'm not in that exact field, but maybe if you want, you can check with His Grace Adigadar Prabhu, who is also in your field, a very accomplished doctor as you are. And he gives online classes at least 6 hours every day. Every day, 6 hours, more or less, you can say. Some days it's even more, like weekends. 3 hours of morning session, includes japa and multiple prayers and all, fixed. Every day. Every day means every day. I literally mean it. Plus he gives multiple classes in the evenings. Plus the days when he's off, he's like, so if you want, you can consult with them. Maybe there is a way, I don't know how he manages, it's beyond my comprehension, but certainly it's amazing the way he manages. And he's also Grihastha, his wife is also a doctor. He has 2 kids like you have. So maybe we can take inspiration from those examples and even practical guidance, how they do it. What's their like secret sauce? And maybe we cannot like apply as it is, but maybe we can get some meaningful suggestions which might help us. So, but at least you are reflecting. I mean, you're using it in the way to serve others, to cure their bodies and their health and stuff. So you're you're doing the needful. Which any thoughts? I mean, I know it's a little hard to. Yeah. You are basically helping in so many ways, so many people. So
Yeah, definitely I'll reach out to some senior devotees on this field in the critical care how they're managing. Thank you.
Sure. In fact, I was thinking of inviting him to Tampa at some point in a few upcoming months. I spoke to him yesterday. He's very eager to come whenever we are eager to invite. So we can talk about that. Okay, so let's summarize this chapter. Swallowing the Forest Fire, Canto 10, Chapter 19. Started on a very happy note in the Bandit one. The boys went. It was a typical day, having fun. Everything was good. And the boys were absorbed in playing. The cows and the other cattle went to be independent. Swairam charyanto vishvus trinalobhena gairavam. They turned their face away and to enjoy independently the greed of fresh the grasses, they went away. And as a result, they went, the area was very dry, in the grasses, there was heat, distress. So go refers to senses also. It's a beautiful lesson here. Go refers to cows, go refers to senses. When the senses are not engaged in the service of the master of the senses, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktiruttama. When we don't engage the senses in the service of the master of the senses, guess what will happen? They will be engaged in wrong things. Pretty simple. If we do not engage our ears, our eyes, our nose, etc., in serving Krishna, like hearing Bhagavatam, what we'll hear? We'll hear FM, radio, YouTube. We'll watch our eyes, some random stuff, bad content. We all know what we're talking about. We'll use our nose to smoke ganja and heroin and drugs, and use our tongue to eat flesh and bad intoxication and mode of ignorance food. That means we have taken the senses away from Krishna, thinking they will be happy there. The senses are running wild, right? But were they really happy? No, they were suffering. Suddenly there was and then the boys went out to look for them, right? They felt that they have neglected, and then the boys went out to look for them in the Munja forest, and suddenly there was a forest fire. It was a forest fire because of the heat, and the chariot was, the Sarthi was the wind. It was strong wind. It was devouring with the tongue. It was about to devour everyone. So huge, and there was smoke everywhere. And then finally, the boy said, when life, it's a matter of life and death, we will be devoured any moment. Krishna, Krishna Mahayogin, He Rama, Amoga Vikrama, Davagni Dahayamanan, Prapannas Tratum Arhataha. You protect us, Krishna. This fire is about to devour us. You are very strong. Krishna said, Krishna is waiting for the call of his devotees. When we take one step, he comes 1,000 steps. We discuss on that point also. Immediately came and asked, close your eyes. We discussed today why he asked to close eyes, because he didn't want to deal with any more complaints. If the boys complain, hey, Krishna, I ate mud. Now he ate fire. It's a much bigger problem. I don't want Mother Yashoda to be thinking, because let's think about if someone, a neighbor comes and say, hey, your child, was putting hand in the fire. Will you take it? Will you be just at ease, right? You'll have like a big conversation with the child, even if it looks fine, even if there's no burn or blister or anything, even if it looks fine, you'll have a big conversation. Krishna didn't want to deal with all that. Close your eyes. And we also discuss how it marks surrender, Shraddha, faith. And then, yes, immediately the boys replied, all right, we will do it. The boys closed their eyes. Krishna swallowed the entire fire. And we also saw this beautiful painting also, how Krishna swallowed the forest fire and saved everyone, how he saved everyone. And everyone was happy. Everyone was safe. And that's the formula. If we engage our senses in the master of the senses, then the senses will be happy. If we engage them in the service of self, they'll be miserable. I'm sure we all can relate. No one is really happy when we engage, like after exhibiting anger. Is anyone really happy? No. After exhibiting lust, they're not really happy. Temptation, momentary pleasure is not true happiness. And finally, they were all safe. They opened their eyes, thinking, oh, we are also demigods. He's demigod. Somehow we were saved. Haribol, Haribol. They all came back, dancing, chanting, singing Krishna's glories. Krishna is playing flute, and the gopis were also saved from the blazing fire of separation. And this reminds me of a beautiful verse from this Vritrasura's prayers. Ajata paksha iva matram khagaha stanyam yatha vatsaraj shuddhartha priyam priyeva vyusitam vishanna mano aravindaksha digdrishyate tvam. O lotus-eyed, so Vritrasura is praying this, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, because then they'll get chance to drink, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and to satisfy her in all respects. I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. So this is the mood of the gopis, of the pure devotees. They cannot, and let's read this verse once again. Gopinam paramananda asid govinda darshani shanam yoga shatam iva yasam yena vina bhavat. So young gopis took the greatest pleasure, param ananda, in seeing Krishna, Govinda Darshana, come home, since for them, even a moment without his association seemed like 100 years, hundreds of years. So when Krishna is near, that's what they want. So we complete this chapter, a lot of lessons and things we discussed. So I'll take a pause, and if anyone has any comments, thoughts, or reflections, we can take those for a few minutes. Hare Krishna, Om Tat Sat. Anyone wants to share anything? Anything struck you? Anything you felt inspired in this chapter?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm in my car. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to say thank you. Your explanations are very helpful, and I feel like all I have to do is chant the mantra and read Bhagavad Gita and attend these classes and follow the guidance of those who are senior to me in the Vaishnava movement. And Krishna will just take care of everything. And there's an enormous amount of solace in that. And I just want to say thank you so much for hosting these classes and entertaining my questions and reflections. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. You repeated the instructions for all of us. That's all we have to do. Right? Chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavatam, have good association, take Krishna Prasad, rest, he'll take care. If we do our part, which is this, rest be assured, we will be transported back home, back to Godhead, like the cowherd boys were transported back to a safe place. Thank you. Anyone else wants to share something?
Prabhuji, I just want
Yes.
to add that this chapter was, whatever little I could attend, I just felt like this chapter was very enjoyable, like children's stories. And your explanations were very beautiful. You also entertained with some of your explanations, which had some stories. So thank you so much. I really enjoyed.
Thank you for your association. And this is how Bhagavatam is. It is entertaining. It is enriching. And it is transforming. So then that's how it should be. Because it's not boring. It's not dull. Krishna is the source of everything. How can his stories be dull? So So this is how we should read and hear and go deeper. Our goal is not just to get done with Bhagavatam. Our goal is to enrich it. It's enjoy this beautiful process. Enjoy, reflect on the words, reflect on the mood. We get into that. As we were reading about Kulashekar, he was transfixed in the Leelas, right? So, and then the nectar comes. Then we feel it joyful. An hour, we spent an hour. Does it feel like? It feels like we spent just a few minutes just talking. It didn't seem to be like a burdensome thing when we enjoy it. Thank you so much for your association.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, just very quickly, I want to say everything else seems dull and tasteless in comparison. Hare Krishna.
That's so true, because now you have got the real taste. Now everything else is like you got the higher taste. Vishayavini vartante niraharasya dehna raso varjam rasopyasya param dishtva nivartate. Bhagavad Gita 259. You got the param. When you have the higher taste, then the things of this material world cannot be anywhere compared, anywhere close. And it seems down. So thank you. Okay, then we will pause. If no other comments, you can pause. Yes,
So
well,
just, Ruji, looked like a very simple chapter, very simple story, swallowing the first prayer. But the way you take us to the whole thing looks, as Puji's Mataji already mentioned, very deep inside. And that word actually struck me, that certainly your own friends should not be destroyed. So as a devotee, you are trying to be Krishna's own friend. Maybe not yet, I'm talking about myself, but there's a great hope that if I go on that position, I should not be worried about that. By the Devotees Association and Guru's mercy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Krishna says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu. I'm equal to all. Na me dveshyasi, na priyaha. To me, there is no like friend or enemy. But then in the next line, he kind of says, Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maiteteshu chapyaham. Those who worship me, I am favorably disposed to them. So this is Krishna. So let's be assured. But I'm very grateful to all of you who joined in person, through Zoom Live, or those who are hearing later. Thank you so much. Those who joined just for one class or two classes, tomorrow we will read the next chapter, chapter 20. Thank you again. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samavita Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaya vacha, Uttanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Om Tat Sat. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Puji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.